All right, let's get right into it. Today, we are tackling a huge question for anyone taking the IELTS. Should you go old school with the paper test or jump into the digital age with IELTS on computer?
You know, for what feels like forever, nearly 3 decades, the IELTS test was this very specific, well-known thing. It was a rite of passage for millions of people chasing their dreams of studying or working abroad.
And you knew exactly what to expect, right? You'd sit down at a desk with a question booklet, an answer sheet, and a good old-fashioned pencil. That was the one and only way to do it.
But things are different now. The game has changed. With the IELTS on computer, we've got a whole new option on the table, bringing this classic test right into the 21st century.
So this leads us to the million-dollar question. And let's be super clear, it's not about which test is easier. The questions, the scoring, the difficulty, it's all identical. The real question is, which one is the right fit for you?
Okay, so let's put these two formats head-to-head. This is the paper versus computer showdown. We're going to break down the key differences that can totally change your experience on test day.
And wow, check this out. This table just lays it all out, side by side. You can see right away where the big trade-offs are, from how you write your essays, all the way to how quickly you get your hands on those results.
And here it is, probably the biggest, most obvious difference. If you're on a tight deadline for a university application or a visa, this could be a no-brainer. Getting your score back in just a few days with a computer test versus waiting almost 2 weeks, well, that can make all the difference.
Now let's talk about the listening section, because the experience is night and day. With the paper test, you listen on shared speakers, but you get a nice long 10 minutes at the end to transfer your answers. With the computer, you get your own high-quality headphones, which is amazing for focus. The catch? You have to type as you listen, and you only get 2 minutes at the end to check your work. Okay, for a lot of people, the writing section is the real decider. And you can see why. On the computer, editing is a dream. You can cut, copy, and paste entire sentences without making a mess, plus that automatic word counter, it's a lifesaver. On paper, you're stuck erasing, trying to squeeze in words, and spending precious time counting every single word by hand. You know, the computer test isn't just about trading a pencil for a keyboard. You're actually getting a whole new set of tools that can give you a serious strategic advantage if you know how to use them. I mean, think of these as your secret weapons. You can highlight text just like you would with a marker, you can make notes right there on the screen, and get this, in the reading section, you can copy text and paste it into your answer box to avoid spelling mistakes.
It's pretty slick.
So what this really means is that you're not just passively reading a wall of text. You can actually interact with it, pull it apart, mark it up. It's a much more active way to tackle the reading passages.
But, and this is a big but, with all these cool new tools come some new ways to get tripped up. Let's look at the common mistakes people make so you can steer clear of them. So here's the first big challenge, multitasking. During the listening test, you've got to listen to the audio and type your answers in real time. It's a skill that the paper test just doesn't ask of you. So, how do you get good at this? It really just comes down to practice. Get on those official mock tests and train your brain to listen and type at the same time. A great tip is to use abbreviations to get the info down fast, then use that 2-minute review to flesh things out and hunt for any typos. Now, for the next trap, and this one is kinda sneaky. The split screen setup is great, but it can also trick you into wasting time. It's really easy to just get lost endlessly clicking back and forth between the text and the questions if you don't have a solid plan.
To make sure you stay on track, you've got to be disciplined. First, that on-screen timer is your best friend. Keep an eye on it. Second, go in with a plan for how much time you'll spend on each part. And third, there's no substitute for doing full, timed practice tests to build up that digital test-taking muscle.
All right, let's pull all of this together into your personal game plan. We've seen the good, the bad, the tools, and the traps. Now, let's figure out how you can make the absolute best choice for yourself.
This starts with some really honest self-reflection. Ask yourself, how badly do I need those results, and how soon? Am I actually a fast and accurate typist? Do I get easily distracted by the sound of 30 other people clicking away on keyboards? Do my eyes get tired from staring at a screen? Because here's the most important takeaway of all. There is no such thing as an easier or better test. There is only the test that is better for you, the one that plays to your strengths. The choice is all yours.
And look, if you decide the computer test is your path, here's your final checklist to crush it. First, get so comfortable with the software that it feels like second nature. Second,
work on that typing speed. Aim for 30 to 40 words per minute. Third, master those on-screen tools. And finally, always manage your time, so you have a few minutes left to review.
At the end of the day, doing well on the IELTS on computer isn't just about knowing English. It's about having the right strategy. You now know the advantages you can use and the traps you need to avoid. So the only question left is, how are you going to prepare to master the machine?